vocals and then
615 BNA. We got that fly DNA. It's our Delian Foundations. And we appreciate your patience. Don't bring trouble around my way.
Yo, welcome to MC2MC podcast. I'm your lovely host, Fondito.
What's good, y'all? My name is Adeli, and our special guest is Nakessa.
Hey everybody, how you doing?
Welcome to the podcast. How does it feel to have your first? This is your first interview, right?
Yeah. As an artist, this is my first interview.
Wow.
And it's a little weird.
Yeah.
You know, a little weird for me. I'm not used to.
I think you'll be a natural.
All this. I hope so.
You know. I think it'll be a natural. But since it's your first, like you've been doing music for a while, so. For this to be your first interview, how's this like? How's it come up?
I mean, honestly, it's real cool for everything to kind of come full circle. Like I've been singing since I was 3.
Wow.
And it's just, to me, it's odd to look at it as people really want to listen to me sing. People want me to feature on their music, and people want me to, like, to me that's crazy because I'm like, I've just been doing this since I was a kid. It's just something that I do.
You're really good though.
I mean, but I feel like I can always be better. It's just not to say that I don't think that I'm good. It's just I feel like there's always something for me to learn.
Expectation.
Yeah.
But you've been singing like in the mirror when you perform, like when you was 3 coming up. Like,
when I was 3, I was one of those people, and you can ask my brother. I'm still one of those people. Like if I'm doing something, you can tell when I'm really focused because I start singing. Like I'll start singing like random things.
That's artist shit.
It don't even have to make sense. I'm just like the sky is blue. I'm writing these words. Like I'm just one of those people. It's just. So to me, it's just what I do.
It's natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we can't hide it because even when we had a podcast at the house and for my wife's show called First Let's Talk About It, Plug. And Destiny, the Winter Cold, she was there as a guest, but she had to get her mind right, so she went in the bathroom to start. Snapping. It was like,
what's going on?
Well, artists got to do that. That's their muse. That's the way they channel it out. And like, if you got an idea, it's like you go in the bathroom and record it, or do you just do it right there where people watching?
Right. I mean, honestly, I guess for me, it's one of those things. It's like, you'll have people who have singer friends that aren't singers or aren't musically inclined. They're like, y'all so annoying. Y'all always, you always singing. You always, why are you doing that? Even when you cough, you run at the end. You sneeze, you run at the end. Why are you doing that?
I do the same thing. Play it off.
Right, just play it on out. Like, don't just stop it there. Just let it run its course. That's the point of a run. That's what it is.
But I think it doesn't look as crazy if somebody's like singing, because you can see what they're doing. You can hear the notes. Obviously, they're singing. Yeah. But sometimes if I'm like freestyling, I might look a little crazy somewhere.
Yeah.
I can hit those different notes.
Exactly.
And stuff, so.
Even when I'm rapping in the car like that. You know what I'm saying? When I'm rapping in the car, I'm just freestyling. I don't even care no more. I don't care. I used to care. I used to be subconscious and be like, oh, they're going.
Somebody see
Yeah, exactly. But I don't even care no more. I just be rapping. They appreciate it. They don't.
Yeah.
And I got a Jeep, so they can hear every word. They got the windows down.
That can be kind of dangerous too, because me, I'm one of those people, like when I really get into the music in the car, I be speeding.
Yeah.
I'm floating through traffic and I'm just in there. I'm just like, and I know people are looking at me like, this woman is going to kill somebody on the road.
So what'd you listen to when you was driving?
Honestly, I listen to a lot of my brother's beats. I find that
who is Conscious Beats, by the way?
Right, Conscious Beats, my blood.
Yes.
Honestly, I listen to a lot of his music because I find I'm most creative in the car, because ain't nobody in there but me. Because there's no one in there but you. It's just you and your mind and your thoughts. So you can say whatever you want to say, and you don't have to worry about nobody looking at you like,
no, that's facts.
Oh, okay. That's how you feel? Like, you could just be in there. You could say whatever you want. And I find that a lot of times my greatest songs come from me riding the car, because I do a lot of driving, too. So
that
it's
helps.
like, so I'm like, well, let me be productive and listen to some beats instead of, but then sometimes I'm listening to Afrobeat. I'm listening to, I'm listening to Sir.
Afrobeat is big right now.
Afrobeat
it's taking over.
It's just got a different energy to it.
It's
it
rhythmic.
Just makes you happy. It makes you want to move. It makes you feel good. Instead of like, it ain't nothing wrong with listening to people rap about selling drugs, I guess. But for me, I would rather listen to something that gives me hype.
Yeah.
More
Gets
vibrant.
me moving.
Exactly. Yeah. Afro beats, like the people there in Nigeria are happy. They got very little, but they're happy with it because they're like, you know, we get that y'all are corrupt, get the government, but we're still happy enough this to go with life. You know what I'm saying? But this don't kill us. You killing us and you being corrupt. And we was good with the corruption because we were good people. So so the people are happy. So that music just translate all that, you know, energy too, you know?
Yeah.
So SARS is a big issue that's going on in Nigeria currently,
Yes,
right?
facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Mike O, who was talking about it on the first Let's Talk About It podcast. He's an Afrobeat artist, and he lives in Nashville, and back and forth in Atlanta. So he may be someone you want to collaborate with too as well.
What's his name? Mike O?
Mike O.
Okay.
Yeah, he is addressing like how there are, you know, the people in the government right now because it got so corrupted where it's kind of like here that the police are underfunded, they're not appreciated, you know, they're not respected by the government, you know what I'm saying? So the government, therefore, it's all the pressures on the police and the people.
Yeah.
So the police are letting that out on the people, and it's like
Corruption.
corruption, yeah, man. So, but even not just the corruption, it's just the pressure of being a police officer in the middle. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're putting the pressure on the people and letting your emotions out on the people. You're
That's
frustrated.
the worst place to be is in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with anything, like you take a look at it and it's like, you know, you have people who are above you saying you need to do this, and this. And it's like they don't really take into account or understand the pressures that you're under trying to keep a balance between, well, you know, I have to ensure that these people are safe or whatever the case may be. I have a job that I have to do. And you yelling at me when you don't have to do my job. It's difficult to be in the middle because you have to find harmony between this side and this side. And that I hate it. I hate it for anybody. I wouldn't wish that type of responsibility on anybody.
No, for real.
Being
It could
in
break
the middle
somebody.
like that. Yeah.
I feel like the media doesn't do any justice to a lot of things too, because they're just trying to perpetuate conflict and stuff.
Facts.
They're trying to sell. They're trying to make money. It's a business to them.
It is.
At the cost of, like, say, the officers' lives. You know, I know a lot of good officers out there that are really
me too.
putting their life at risk every single day. Like, I mean, they're like soldiers.
Yeah,
you gotta, you know, we should salute them. The good ones, obviously.
Yeah, it's just a couple of bad ones that make the good ones look like, you know, trash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that pressure can turn a predator. I mean, turn a protector to a predator. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was a protector, like he's supposed to protect the people, and then it becomes, you know, the person who's attacking the people. So, yeah, salute to all the good police officers. Salute to all the good citizens. Salute to Nigeria. We're with y'all. There is a bunch of sites that, you know, we posted a link that people can, you know, figure out how to help those people in there, you know. But yeah, so what's going on? What's next for you? You know what I'm saying? I know you just dropped a new single, 2020 single. Your first single, right?
Shine.
Yeah, it is my first. You right. Actually,
It's
that
your
is my
first
first single. I'm
single.
sitting here
Wow.
like, hold on. It is my first single. Just Shine, featuring Bo Jackson, 444. It's my homie out of Richmond. He's a dope artist himself.
Yeah, I like
You
his
know.
verse on that track.
Yeah, he snapped. Yeah.
Honestly, and how the track came about was funny because my brother, you know how he is. He'd be like, I don't like this. I don't know what to do with this. And I was like, what?
He's a perfectionist too, yeah.
He really is. And luckily for me, the mic was already set up like in there. I was like, hold on. I got you.
Nice.
So I was like, give me a minute. I wrote some stuff down. And I was like, okay, now here, send this to Rashawn real quick. There you go. We got a song.
Yeah, dope.
And it turned into something that I still be bumping that in the car. Like,
No, it's a good song, uplifting.
it's
And I feel
dope.
like summer, like when I hear it, you know.
Honestly, I mean,
Good message.
I like music with a message. I like music with a message, but also I like music that puts, whether it's conscious or subconscious, I want it to, you'd be able to feel it in your body, you know? And it's like, whether you was actually listening to the words or not listening to the words, it's like you still feel the song either way.
There you go. It's a vibration of
Yeah,
it. Yes.
Power of life and death, you know.
Speaking of Richmond, though, you used to live in Virginia. Is that right?
I did. I went to school at the illustrious Howard University because we have to do that.
Salute to, salute to
you know, HU, you know. So I did. I went to school there. I was living in Maryland with my aunt, actually. And it got to a point where, because I was paying for school out of my own pocket. We all know Howard ain't cheap.
Nice.
Howard ain't cheap whatsoever. And so it's like, you know, I was living in Maryland with my aunt, and I was working 2 jobs, and I was really trying to calculate how I could stay without having to come home, because it's like, you know, in my mind I was like, well, if I have to come home, I'm gonna be stuck.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not gonna grow, I'm not gonna move. I'm out here, I'm living my life, I'm free, you know, I'm black.
I'm out here,
you know. And it was just like, you know, I knew that it was going to have to come a time when I was going to have to go home, and I was like, I just don't want to. Right. And, you know, the spirit really get to you and be saying, like, you know, it's time. You gotta go home. And I'm like, no, because I can do this. You know, I can work. If I pick up another job, you know, I might only get an hour and a half of sleep every night, but I can make it I can make it work. You know, I can if I could just do it. It's like, nah, baby, you gotta go home. And so it was this one day that I was walking home from the train station. It was a 45-minute walk from Morgan Boulevard train station to my aunt's house.
That's a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had my headphones in because, I mean, honestly, that's how I got through the walk. Was put my headphones in, listen to some music. Thanks. I was listening to D'Angelo, whichever that newest album was.
Vanguard.
Yeah.
That's a great
That's that
album.
one. I was
Incredible
listening
album.
to that, you know, walking and thinking. And there's this one intersection. It's like a 3-way stop. There's the lights. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I got my headphones on. I can't hear the traffic, but I can see the traffic and I can see the lights. So I'm walking and I'm literally calculating. I'm like, okay, I got $20 in my savings account right now. If I work X amount of days, like, this is what I'm going through in my head. And I look, I'm like, okay, this light is red, so I can cross. Forgetting that people can make a right on red. And so I'm walking and I'm like, okay, lights red, and I just keep going. Well, apparently the person who was turning didn't see me either. So I'm walking and I'm in my mind, and then, like, boom, all of a sudden I'm on the hood of somebody's car. What? And then the first thing I thought was like, oh, I'm gonna die. Oh, I'm gonna look like, the first thing I thought was, am I really on the hood of somebody's car right now?
It's a bad place to end up.
Am I really on the hood of somebody's car right now? Like, I'm just in my mind, like, are you serious? And I was like, okay. I was like, dang, God, you didn't have to hit me with a car. All right, I'll go home. I will go home. Like, I'll mind my business and go home. But it was just crazy because I wasn't shaken up at all. Like, the firemen came, they were like, you sure you all right? Damn. I said, yeah.
You got hit by a whole car.
I got hit by a whole car. I had a scratch that was maybe about 1 centimeter long on my left knee. And I was just like, this. They were like,
divine.
You sure you okay? Like, how many fingers am I holding up? I'm like, I'm fine. Can you get my shoe out of the street?
Oh, man. But you were okay.
I was.
Thank God.
I was fine. I was fine. The man, he was like, can I at least give you a ride home? It was a stranger. And I was like, nah, I'll just
usually
walk
is a stranger.
And it was crazy. Like,
it's always a stranger. It's never the people you know. It's like,
He was like, I saw the whole thing. I knew it was gonna be bad. And he sat there, but he leveled with me. He was like, where are you from? I said, I'm from Tennessee. He was like, and you got family here? I said, I mean, I'm staying with my aunt, you know, he was like, but your parents are back in Tennessee? I said, yeah. He was like, let me tell you, I know it may not mean anything to you because you don't know me, but, you know, I'm offering you a ride home, so at least hear me out. He said, my daughters, they go to Hampton. I worked very, very hard to get them through school. And if something like this had happened to them and I was so far from them, like your parents are from you, I wouldn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah, it'd be a nightmare.
No, it'd be a nightmare because you wouldn't be there to help them.
Exactly. And he was all like, I don't know what the story is, but I think it's time for you to go home. I said, yeah. Wow. I figured that. And so
that's an angel. Sometimes how God talks to you.
That's how I saw it, because I'm like, I've done all of this just to try to stay, and God's like, no, I need you to go back to Tennessee. Like, I need you to. And it's like the spirit, if you don't listen the first time, if it's destined for you to make that transition, the spirit will make that transition for you.
Wow. Yeah.
You don't even have a choice. Like, they'll be like, I told you now. I gave you ample time to do it yourself.
It's a sign. Yeah, you gotta read the street signs. Like Tupac said, you gotta read the street signs, because it's definitely a whole car. Like, you can't even ignore that. You can't ignore that.
Man.
And sometimes we be so stubborn. Like, I know where to go. I know my plans. I know the plans, but sometimes it ain't about your plan. Because, your plan can get you derailed like that.
They say God laughs at your plans.
Yes.
Oh, you got plans? You funny.
But it's still important to have those plans and still try to manifest them and do our effort and stuff like that. But yeah, you're definitely right.
Yeah. With that, though, I kind of learned, because my plans that I make myself usually don't ever go the way that they need to. So I learned to stop making my own plans, and I learned to start asking for vision and clarity. It's like, okay, I know that you have a plan for me. So whatever that be, you just show me where I need to go. Right. You just give me the tools and the insight that I need to make those next steps. And that's what I'll do. Instead of saying, oh, I'm going to do this. And God be like, oh, you are?
Yes.
Oh, you are? All right. That's funny.
We have to plan with, like, God in mind. If once we do that, I think everything go a lot smoother.
Definitely so.
I think sometimes we want to go straight to our destination, like a straight flight.
Yeah.
But God's plan is for you to go endure all these hurdles to get to that point.
Exactly. So you got layover.
You got a layover. That's true.
No, for real. Because all the stuff that you go through, it turns you into the person that you need to be to receive that gift at the end. My dad always says, God will always show you the beginning and the end, but he never shows you what's in the middle. And the thing about it is what's in the middle is what prepares you to be the person that you need to be to receive that at the end. Because the person you started as is not prepared to grasp and hold and maintain that gift that's waiting for you at the end. So you need that training. You need all of that to become the person that will ultimately be able to succeed with that gift in the end.
Yeah. Okay. Preach, girl. I see that. Well, you open up a church, girl. You open up a church, for real.
Can't find a producer that fits you? Come on! We've got beats for that.
So what's your inspiration, besides, like, of course, your experiences that make music?
My inspiration to make music, honestly, is life. It's just like, I feel like the things that I go through in life, one, I've learned I'm not the only person to ever experience a heartbreak. I'm not the only person to ever get mad. I'm not the only person to ever experience what I'm experiencing. And I feel like being able to connect with people on that level is like, with music, you can relate to people regardless to what language they speak, regardless as to, whether they're blind or deaf or whatever, like, because that vibration is still there. We all feel. And so it's like, for me, I'll be like, okay, well, today was kind of rough. Maybe I'll write a song about it. Maybe I will. And I'm just like, well, I don't have any inspiration right now. But I find that the message, when it needs to get through, it gets through.
It does.
And so that message will come through me, and I'll be writing, and I'll go back and look at things. I'll be like, I don't remember writing that.
No.
I don't remember writing that down.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's how you know that's a message with a higher purpose. It's like, it came through
from the heavens.
you.
Yeah.
You might not remember, but it needed to get here, and
No,
you
for real.
were the avenue by which it did. And those things always inspire me. Like watching kids and knowing that, like, I was a kid and what I was thinking when I was a kid, and then seeing my nieces and my nephews, like, I'm like,
that's me. I love it.
that's crazy. If you'd have told me that I would be able to see my brother and his 3 kids and to see all of us reflected in them children.
Right. That's
super
wild.
blessing.
It is. But it's just like, to think like you can really be anything. And I want you to know that you can be anything. The same way that my parents let us know that we could be anything. I want to be able to be that person. I want to be an ancestor to you and your people one day. That you can look back and just be like,
yeah, we're gonna be ancestors one day.
We're gonna be ancestors one day. And I want you to at least be able to look back and listen to something that I said and be like, she was right.
Yeah, even if it hit you at age 30.
Right.
Is, I know some shit that ain't hit me like since now from my grandma when she said that back in the day when I was growing up. So it's a while. Even through music, like you were saying, sometimes something's channeling through you when you write it and you're not even there for the writing session. And sometimes, like, I hear my music from back in the day, and there's still a message in it that I'm like, damn, that's advice from right now. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. My young self was talking to my old self, so it's crazy.
You don't have to be like old to be wise. You could be young and wise. You know what I mean? I met a lot of old fools. So, you know what I'm saying?
I think we all have.
But based on what you were saying a second ago, like some of the best verses I've written have come from pain. And I feel like a lot of mainstream songs, some of the best ones came from pain. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. Honestly, piggybacking off of that, I really like to. I had an English teacher one time that told me, he was like, every time you write something, whether it be, if it can be painful in the middle, but you always somehow manage to bring it back to hope and faith at the end. And I'm like, well, that's what it's supposed to be about. You are not supposed to let your pain break you. You are not supposed to let your obstacles defeat you. That's not what we're here for. That's not what we do. And my thing is, yes, you can experience that pain. You can go on and cry. I give you 3 days. Go on and cry. Let it all out. And then when you're done crying, you pick yourself up and you keep moving and you keep going. Because ultimately, that's what you're going to have to do. You sit and you only fail when you stop trying. You only fail when you sit and you wallow in whatever's going on.
Right.
And so, I like to be that person to say, hey, yeah, you hurt. You skinned your knee. It'll heal. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, some Aaliyah shit. Dust yourself off and try again.
Yes.
So you strike me as a person that was brought up in church. Was you brought up in church?
I was brought up in church.
Okay.
I was brought up in church. I was brought up traditionally in church, and then also, my family was very spiritual. My mom and dad, they were very spiritual. And so it's like, you don't have to necessarily be in the building to feel the presence of God. God is with you wherever you go. God lives within you. And so as long as you remember that, there's nothing that can defeat you, because you're never alone. You can be by yourself, but you're never alone. Because that spirit is always with you. It always walks with you.
It's within you, yeah, for sure. Bless up to that.
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts going on in my mind from all this wisdom and stuff. I've been listening to Infinite Waters. I don't know if you guys have heard him.
Yeah.
Man, that guy is awesome. Shout out to Infinite Waters.
Yeah.
Diving deep once again.
Yo,
Welcome back, deep divers.
Yeah, deep divers. Man, I mean,
that dude's dope.
Like, I used to listen to him. Me and Foundation used to listen to him back in like 2012. I don't know if you've continued to listen to him, but for some reason, I don't know. I just like stopped for like the longest time.
I did too, for a while.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you
got me back into him actually.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, you be sending me links and stuff. I'm like, yeah.
Well, I didn't know that he makes current videos, and he made a video the other day and stuff like that. And
Ralph Smart.
Ralph Smart. Yeah, he wrote a book and just a really smart dude. But the old videos, I just remember they were kind of just like general kind of things, like how to raise your vibration, like very basic stuff. But
alkaline water.
Alkaline water. Yeah. And like the chakras and all that kind of stuff, but like as of recent, he's incorporating real life events, the pandemic, Corona, and all that. And how do you continue to keep your high vibration during these challenging times? So I'm not gonna say too much more, but just watch the videos and support him, because that's somebody that's very spiritual, kind of on the same wavelength as us. But his underlying message though is you have to go through a lot of pain to get to that higher level. You can't skip that.
Yeah,
that's part of life.
Definitely.
So it's like go through it, endure it, and then eventually you'll come out stronger and better.
Exactly. That's why I like that song "Can't Shut Us Down" that we got. Actually, we're shooting a video after this, but
yes,
because it's letting you know, like, even still, we recorded a year ago, but it's still relevant to now, because everything still revolves around people trying to get out of situations they can't get out of. People still going against the grain. Some laws that needs to be replaced, protesting all the way to the election, the vote. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things that kind of moves around that topic. About people trying to get out of the situations. So what do you think as far as right now during COVID and during the election? Where you stand at right now?
Well, honestly, I feel like COVID in itself, like the whole pandemic, the whole shutdown, because basically the whole world was shut down. And so I feel like it gave people a lot of time to like sit and reflect. And it's one of those things that was necessary. It was kind of like a forced meditation in a way.
True.
Because we get so caught up in the day-to-day hustle, going to work, going home, going to work, going home, going to work, that now you at home. You at home.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people, I see a lot of people like saying, "Oh, I'm depressed" and all this. But the thing about it is that you've never been at home. You've never been in the silence with your own thoughts before, with yourself. You've been keeping yourself busy so that you don't have to face what's going on inside of yourself, which a lot of times, like your depression and your sadness, your emotions can become like a virus to you as well. True. And so being at home, you have to meditate on that stuff. And as far as the election,
Plead the fifth.
Anyway,
You can bypass.
Because I don't.
You just checked out.
I just don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But at the end of the day, I don't think that's like I think that's just like they just figureheads. They're not the whole machine.
No,
you know what I'm
not at
saying?
all.
So we got the power to change locally. I think that has more of an impact than nationwide. Because I think that's overwhelming sometimes to think about. These are people who run our country, but we run our country as a people as we think about it. But we just gotta own it. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. Like they get you so focused on the presidential election that you forget that there are other elections that you can do. Like when all of 80% of the seats for Congress were up for re-election.
You know what I'm
Nobody know
saying?
about that because Trump.
Exactly.
So it's like it's like you have to pay attention to the other things that you can do. Trump is one person. If you take out the 80% of those people and replace them with people who have your best interest at heart, then you have a higher chance of success. We get so focused on, and I think that's partly like with social media too, we get so focused on what you're looking at right now that you don't ever take the time to delve in deeper and look and say, oh, okay, well, this is what's actually going on behind the scenes. These are the people that actually put all of this out, and if they say, then it don't matter what he say, it'll still pass, or whatever the case may be. Nobody does like the deeper research that's necessary. But of course, with the pandemic, everything shut down. You ain't got nothing else to do.
Exactly.
But
go inside.
Research and go inside and delve deep. And so I think that is a blessing and a curse. Yes, people have lost their lives to certain things, but I'm okay with seeing everything coming to the surface now.
Yeah.
Because that's what's necessary. Discomfort is necessary for change.
It's for truth.
And so I think, blessing and a curse.
True.
Mostly blessing because it's forced people to do a lot of self-reflection and a lot of meditation and a lot of thinking.
This is true.
To know that, I can change. I don't have to just be this way for the rest of my life. Before I didn't have time because I was going to work, but now I'm not going to work. So I have time to work on myself. You don't have an excuse anymore.
That's facts.
Yeah, I just feel like the lifestyle that we've all kind of become accustomed to is just so fast paced, and it's full of distractions. So we're essentially a bunch of hamsters running on a wheel. And then so when we get hit with a roadblock like this, and we're like, whoa, we're forced to just face our thoughts and face the reality of the situation. Like, it can be overwhelming for I think for everyone. I don't care if you're spiritual or not. It's still a big change from your momentum that you already created. But yeah, I think the key is to just reflect and push forward as gracefully as you can, and read more and learn more. We always talk about eating well, sleeping well. It always comes down to basics, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like successful people, like another guy I listened to, Bob Proctor. He's just got like timeless wisdom. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not like that was effective in 1950. It's still effective today.
Yeah. Still the same universal law. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You just throw a phone in the mix, but it's still the same principles apply.
Facts. Yeah. That's why meditation is important. Like even if it's meditating, walking, people think you got to sit still sometimes and just have all these thoughts flowing, which is good to sit down too and be silent, because then you'll be able to pick up on a lot of other things when you become like awaken. True. But I think meditation is very important, whether you're walking, running, even cooking. Cooking just like, because cooking is like present. You have to be present. So the grease is popping, fan is on, chopping shit. You know what I'm saying? The cutting board. So you're super present, and you got to be present for cooking. So yeah, it's different forms of meditation that people can dive into. Reading books, you know, listening to soothing music. You know. We was listening to Asian flutes one day. on the back of my hill, we got a big old hill. It was like see the mountains and stuff, but we just meditating. The sun is like shining. We just listening to some Asian. What was it, Indian flutes or Asian?
It was like some Indian flutes. Yeah. We were like on some Karate Kid shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the end game for Haru was being monks. You know, we're gonna be some monks.
Like, what the hell are those two doing up there?
That's crazy. But you're right. There are different types of meditation, and I think that, you know, when people hear meditation, it's the same like when people hear veganism. It's just like, oh, that's I can't. I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to be, you know, wearing them big loose pants. And a tattered woven, some hand knitted tank top sitting in the
going on
the whole time. Like, but you're right. That's not the same thing. It just comes to any task that where you're focused and you're internal, where you have time to think. Like driving can be meditating. You can meditate when you're doing your laundry, you're cleaning the house or whatever. Like people, you don't have to just be sitting cross-legged in the grass.
Like us, you know what I'm saying? We old men out here.
I mean, you know, I sit cross-legged in the grass sometimes too, you know, but it's not necessary to get the whole thing done. Like even writing music or writing poetry or whatever it can be a form of meditation. So
true. You write poetry?
I do.
Okay, I can tell how your lyrics, because you come up with lyrics like in the heartbeat. I can tell you probably used to write poetry.
Yeah, I do still write poetry. You know, honestly, I did a mixture of both. Like as soon as I learned how to write, I was writing music. As soon as I could understand and write letters, I was writing music. You know, and so it's just one of those. Music is a spiritual connection, and so I feel like a lot of times, sometimes the ancestors be talking through you, be giving you messages, like you said, your young self talking to your old self. Yep. You know, that's an ancestor can see something that you haven't quite seen yet, and so they go ahead and they plant that seed. It's the same thing with our parents or grandparents telling us things when we're kids, and you like, when you're a kid, you're like, okay, I don't know why you telling me that. Okay, true. Whatever. And then you get older and you're like, okay, I see, I understand.
It's like they got the aerial view, or the 360 view. It's like they can see everything. You're like, I'm in the middle. I don't know what I'm doing. Basically.
I don't know what's going on.
They're like, no, you're going the wrong way, mother. You're going the wrong way.
Like, all right, you can go that way if you want to, but
But I feel like you got to be like open, like spiritually, to receive that kind of guidance. If you're just closed off from the world, you're just gonna stay closed off from the world. You got to open yourself to that.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I think it is important right now, especially to meditate, go inside, even check on people that you think are strong.
True.
Usually the strongest person is usually dealing with the most. Hence why they're strong, probably, you know. Because I know a couple friends of mine passed away recently because we thought they were strong, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's kind of like this COVID kind of get people to the point that they you know, mental depression, you know. So it's kind of like we got to check up on our friends, definitely.
True.
Yeah.
But as far as music, have you, besides the song that we mentioned, Just Shine, with Bo Jackson, are you working on a new project?
I am working on a new project. It'll be, I think it'll be about 4 songs. I have the songs, they're done. I just don't know what to call it. I just don't know what to call it. I was telling Adele earlier, I was like, you know, I might just name it something random.
Yeah, Nakessa feels, you know. Maybe, I don't know his idea.
You know, I name it something random.
Name it something random, exactly.
That probably would it be something random, you know.
Hey, that'd be hot. That'd be hot. You know what I'm saying?
Put it out.
People want to listen to random music all the time. So.
Yeah, because I mean, I've been working on a couple of different songs. There's a few videos of them on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. And a guy actually reached out to me the other day because there's one I named it "Be Still," and it really, because I almost cried when I went back and I got finished writing it and I was singing it, and it just kind of hit me in a place. And so the guy, he watched the video and he sent me a message and he was like, "This song, whenever you get it released, whenever you get it finished and released, can you please send me a copy? Because I have had the worst week of my life, and this song really has been like getting me through that."
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that kind of got me into gear, because I'm like, okay, I got all this unreleased music. I'm just sitting on it. And people really do want to hear it.
Yeah,
like, I'm telling myself,
They
they don't want to hear that. They,
Yeah.
you know, they like different types of stuff. They're not going to like my type of sound.
That's
The market's
false.
too big.
The market, it's not going, I'm not going to fit anywhere. And then when people reach out to me with stuff like that, or people constantly asking, so when you dropping, what we doing?
I know every time I come over, I ask, like, when's the album
Right.
coming out? Yeah.
Shouts out to my cousin Derek in Maryland. He always asks every time I post
dope.
a video on
That's
Instagram.
dope.
He's like,
You need those people.
and I love him to death for it, because like that side of my family really embraced me from not knowing me to, as soon as they met me, it's like, okay, you family, that's it, you know.
That's dope.
And he's always just like, I mean, I understand you working there, but I'm here, and I got people that'll listen. I will bump this every day. You just have to send me, like, let me know when it drops. Let me know where I can find it. And I'm just like, I need to stop playing.
And your whole music, your family is musical. Like,
Yeah.
y'all don't know, like, Conscious Beats is a brother, of course, but you got another brother who's also
Yes.
musical as hell.
My brother Edward, he's in Memphis. He does a little bit of acting and different things like that, but he is a beast on the keys. He is a beast on the keys.
He's on Don't Bring Trouble, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
intro song to this show is
Yeah.
made by her brother,
Yeah.
Edward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout
and
out
Conscious Beats. And she's
Well,
on the
put
hook.
together.
The whole family.
She's like officially, unofficially Heru.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
But you're
exactly.
more officially.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
And then we have a younger sister. She writes. She's very good with writing lyrics and words.
Man, y'all just a
It is-
powerhouse. The Fields.
I mean, we get it from our parents. Our dad was one of them people, he could make up a song on the spot, just like that. Like,
That's what's up.
it was a part of our family thing. We'd all be cooking breakfast or washing dishes or whatever, and he would start something, and we would all like add a little part.
That's awesome.
That happens at my house, like for real.
So that's the thing,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, it's a family thing. And my
Wow.
mom, you know, she sings and plays keys.
Yeah.
My grandmother, she sang. My great grandmother, she sang. So it's just like it's a thing. And then
Ancestors right there.
look,
Yeah.
WC Handy, like that's my grandfather's people, my mom's biological father. Like that's all that on that side. So it's just
Dope.
it's in the
It's in the
blood, I
blood.
guess.
It's in the blood. That's dope.
Yeah.
So where can we find you on social media?
So you can find me on social media. I am on Instagram and Facebook as my full government name. Please don't steal my identity. It's Imani Nakessa Fields on both Facebook and Instagram, or at Just Nakessa on Instagram. I'm on Twitter as at Just Nakessa, I believe. If not, I will change it, so I will be. And Snapchat, all that. It's all the same.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
Well, we're looking forward to your music for sure.
I'm looking forward to putting
Definitely.
it out.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, what would be like your message to the people as far as Nakessa Fields? What do you want to be remembered by?
I want to be remembered as the person who told you it was okay to feel the way that you feel, and that it's okay to get up and keep trying. It doesn't matter how many times you fall. It doesn't matter how many people have told you that you can't. You always can. Open up and talk to people also, because you realize that, you know, talking to people will make you feel a little better. Internalizing it, it festers, it stews. Open up, talk to people. If you are by yourself, especially now, you feeling by yourself in these times, to know that there's always somebody out there that will listen and that cares. You are not by yourself.
True.
Bless up to that. Well, I want to say I'm honored to have you here. We're honored to have you here.
Definitely.
I want to give you flowers as a woman, first of all, and as a black woman, because not too often we get to do that. So,
True.
And I know you're a model, and I know you make your own clothes.
No, I do. I do.
I didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah, I do.
The seamstress over here, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely do your thing. So, yeah, bless up. This has been the MC2MC podcast. Fondito, bless up the Nakessa Fields.
Adeli.
Nakessa.
Signing off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the episode, leave us a thumbs up and comment below if you have any ideas on what we can do next time.
Please subscribe and hit the notification. MC2MC give you motivation.
Heru, heru.